Oh, hi. Welcome back. My name is Sunny. If you're new here, hi. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. In today's podcast episode 28 of Sunny's Geeky Grove, I'm going to be talking about MTV's Scream. Or season 3 was titled Scream Resurrection. This is an anthology type show. It is slasher, horror, mystery, and it was done for MTV and VH1. It currently has a 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb and a shocking 62% on Rotten Tomatoes, which, you know, I was shooketh when I saw that, because usually teen-centered horror doesn't always do that well with critics and audience scores on Rotten Tomatoes. Anyway, so yeah, let's get some of the housekeeping out of the way. If you're new here, click subscribe, ring the bell to get notified. Let's like this video, and if you don't like it, just ignore that those buttons even exist. All right, so MTV Scream is a horror show. It has 3 seasons. Season 1 had 10 episodes. Season 2 had 13, including the 2-hour Halloween special. Season 3 has 6. It was filmed in Louisiana for seasons 1 and 2, and in Atlanta for season 3. Season 1 premiered June of 2015. It followed a group of teens led by Emma Duval after people in their town of Lakewood started getting murdered. There was a local legend about a man, or a young man named Brandon James. He was murdered decades prior and was genetically disfigured. He was so disfigured that he had a mask made for him by the local doctors and the hospital. And he was so scary to look at that they couldn't even let him walk out without the mask. And the mask itself is atrocious. It's not the same as Ghostface Killer from the original movies, though this does obviously play off of that. It obviously has links to Wes Craven's Scream films, is what I meant to say. And you know, the mask is similar, but not the same. It's not that iconic Ghostface Killer that we've all come to know and love, but it does have the same haunting feel to it, which is great. People are thinking that Brandon James didn't really die, or maybe it's a supernatural type thing, and he's the one who's doing all of these killings, and our final girl, Emma Duval, seems to have a strange connection to these murders, and subsequently possibly Brandon? We're not sure. Or you think he's the killer? But what is this connection? How does she play into it? How does she fit in? Who knows, right? So it's an ensemble cast. So there are a lot of characters, a lot of moving parts, and we have, red herrings galore, all of that. But a few of the ragtag bunch of teens that we have that are Emma's friends and associates, one of them is Brooke. She's played by Carlson Young, and she actually has an affair with a teacher, Mr. Bronson, which I hate that, but whatever. Mr. Bronson is played by Bobby Campo. He starred in the worst of the Final Destination franchise, which is The Final Destination. That is number 4 of the series, and the worst one. So, yeah. Audrey Jensen is another character in this group of friends. She's played by Bex Taylor-Klaus. She's a typical edgy goth alt chick. She has that goth aesthetic, and she has like the broody moodiness to her. And then another really amazing character is Riley. She's played by Brianne Shu, TJU. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but she is the popular girl with a heart of gold. And she makes another horror show appearance in the amazing Hulu original show, Light as a Feather. I'll link my video covering that in the right-hand corner over here. But probably the best character we see is Noah. Noah is played by John Karna, and he's perfect and amazing. He is our Randy-esque character from the first two Screams. He's the one that, kind of tells you the rules, sets up how the killings are likely to happen, and he just gives amazing meta-type theories for the show. He does a podcast where the show utilizes that as narration for the episodes. It's done very well, in my opinion. It isn't your typical just narration. That's the cats. They are going ham. But it's not your typical narration where it's kind of the omnipresent narrator. It's very much so he's a character grounded in the story, and he's just saying what he thinks as far as the outside world looking in. Now, season 2 actually follows the survivors of season 1, and it has a very similar mystery around the murders that are going on again. Why is it happening all over again? What's going on? What did we do? Did we not get the killer? Blah, blah, blah. Kind of similar to Scream 2, which is, it's fine. It's a tried and true concept and plot, and why not go for it? They did a 2-part Halloween special, which aired after season 2 had completed. So it was a little confusing. It was months later. I feel like season 2 wrapped up pretty quickly. The first season debuted in June and wrapped up by, the end of July. So they go through the episodes very quickly, and they did the same for season 2. So it was basically, it ended in July, maybe even the start of August, and then we waited until literally the last weekend of October to get this Halloween special, and it felt slightly disconnected. It was not following the same story, and it was the weakest. In my opinion. It still felt like our characters that we had grown to know over the season 1 and season 2, the new characters added in. So it was definitely a good characterization episode, but it wasn't necessarily very strong as far as plot. It is what it is. After that finished, MTV announced that they were going to renew and reboot for season 3, and it was going to be with an entirely new cast, new location, but they were not going to show it on MTV. It was moved to VH1. And season 3 stars RJ Kyler, Tyler Posey, Tiga, Keke Palmer, and produced, directed by Queen Latifah, which was awesome. But it's another large ensemble cast, and it actually premiered July 8th of 2019. All 3 seasons of MTV Scream are currently streaming on Netflix. I have not watched the 3rd season. It just landed today, I believe, September 3rd, for season 3. I've obviously seen the first 2 seasons, loved them. They're fantastic. They're great popcorn entertainment. They're not they don't really challenge you mentally. There is a mystery and they do give clues, but they also give too many red herrings for you to actually figure it out, in my opinion. There's some inconsistencies as far as it doesn't necessarily make sense how this character could be in this place while this is going on, or how could this character have done X, Y, and Z, because that doesn't make any sense. They physically couldn't do that. It'd be physically impossible, even if they had like a rope and pulley system. How could they have gotten this 200-pound football player up in the air or buried someone so quickly? Things like that. But that's just, you gotta suspend that disbelief when you go into any type of horror movie where you have a masked killer. You've got to just say, okay, there are going to be things that are going to most likely be very impossible for our killer to have done once their identity is revealed, and I'm okay with that. That's just something that is common in the horror genre, especially in slashers, and I'm alright with that. I 100% don't mind. Because, let's face it, I'm there for the gore, for the inventive kills, for the final boy or girl getting, revenge on the killer, and solving the mystery, and trying to figure it out the whole time, and taking guesses, and then being like, oh no, it's not so-and-so, it's that one over there. I mean, that's the most fun, right? Of course. But it's just, I can't really give too much away. And so I want to gush about it. But ultimately, if I say stuff, it's going to spoil it. And I don't want to spoil it for you. Because the twists and turns, the mystery of it all, the inventive kills, the horror, all of that is what makes this show so much fun to watch. It is really, it's just so well done, and so much care is put into, paying homage to Wes Craven and the source material by bringing something new and fresh, but also sticking with the tried and true plot devices that they have set up, and just really seeing it brought into, this decade with teens and their current issues going on, and not necessarily, teens from the early 2000s. They're very different these days. We have, cell phones that can download an app and change your voice on commands. And back in the day, it was a little handheld voice changer. So obviously it's upgraded and modernized, which really does help this show really sell the killer mystery. It helps us lose ourselves even more into the world, because essentially it is something that we can do. We can download voice changing apps. We do it all the time. You'll see it on Twitch streams where the streamer is wearing like those masks and using a voice modulator. So it's plausible things that are easily accessible to the majority of smartphone users. So we have that technology, and it's not as far-fetched as, like, say, Scream 3, where they had that voice modulator that could easily capture anyone's voice after just, like, a few words, and then it mapped it 100% and could say whatever, and it sounded just like that person. That was so far-fetched. But nowadays, obviously we can't necessarily do that 100%, but there are apps out there that can make it so that someone's voice is recorded and analyzed, and you can have them say whatever you want. It sounds a little stiff still, which is good. We need that. But, obviously we have the tech, like with deep fakes, which I won't get into because gross, but we do have that tech. So, I mean, it makes the world seem more real, more possible, and not as fantastical. And that is where I'm going to leave today, because I could ramble on forever, but then I just start spoiling everything. And honestly, Noah is the best character. And if you do not love him, you are wrong. I mean, you're entitled to your own opinion, but like, let's be honest. Noah is the best character of Scream. And I would die for him. And he's such a cinnamon roll. And he's too precious and pure for this world. And just like Randy. I don't know why they killed Randy. Jamie Kennedy was amazing as Randy in Scream 1. And then in Scream 2, they, like, butchered his character. Literally. Spoiler alert. But, that's where I'm going to end. Let me know down in the comments if you've seen the show or seen the movies. If you've seen both, which do you like better? Is it possible for you to choose? Who was your favorite character from either the movie or the show? And yeah, thumbs this video up if you liked it. Don't thumbs down. That's just rude. Why do you want to hurt me? Click subscribe if you are new and liked this and want to hear more from me. And ring the bell if you want to get notified. But yeah, once again, my name is Sunny. You have been amazing and wonderful, and I hope you have a truly, truly amazing, happy, lighthearted day. And I wish the best for you because you do deserve it. All right. Bye.